ถ้าคุณกำลังหาแรงบันดาลใจในการฝึกพูดภาษาอังกฤษอยู่ต้องดูคลิปนี้ค่ะ EP นี้เพื่อนชาวเกาหลีแล้วก็เวียดนามนะคะได้มาแชร์ประสบการณ์การเรียนภาษาอังกฤษที่ทำให้แต่ละคนเนี่ยได้ทำงานในบริษัทชั้นนำได้ไปเที่ยวแล้วก็ทำงานอยู่ในยุโรปค่ะเราไปเริ่มกันเลย
How do you guys feel of doing this?
I think you started with his song.
Me? Actually, I told you that I'm not a good representative person for learning study. I'm not a very good English speaker.
Yeah, and I told him that, but you've been abroad, you've been everywhere, so.
Not everywhere, mostly in Europe, and just traveling.
Yes, but you study in Finland with using English.
Yeah. Actually, Finnish exchange student changed a lot.
Yeah, actually, we all met during this time in Finland. And Amy, how did you feel?
Wow, I don't have any objection. I'm just like very surprised, like, why me? Why you want to interview me? That's it.
It's because I wanted friends from different countries. So I chose you as a representative of actually Vietnam.
Okay.
And Haesong for Korea. Okay, then can you please introduce yourself in your native language? Haesong first.
안녕하세요. 저는 우혜성입니다. 저는 한국에서 왔고 한국에서 직장인 생활을 하고 있습니다. 저는 한국에서 엔지니어로 일하고 있습니다. 감사합니다.
Okay. Amy?
Xin chào mọi người, tên mình là Quế Anh, mọi người có thể gọi mình là Amy. Hiện tại mình đang đi làm tại Hà Lan và cho một công ty gọi thực phẩm chức năng. Yeah. That's it.
Okay. So why did you learn English? What is the first reason that make you study?
In my case, I had no choice. In middle school, we have to learn English. It was mandatory, and not in the middle school, even in the elementary school. And then in the university, we just learn just basic conversation English skills. And then I was an exchange student in Finland. And this one semester of experience was way more effective to learn English than the 10 years of the English education.
Yeah. And for you, Amy?
I think the same to her song. That's like purely from primary school to high school. We just study majority is grammar. Yeah, my ability to speak was very limited. So then it comes to the chance that I decided to go abroad and study in the Netherlands. That was the moment, I decided I need to, step up my English. Yeah.
Okay. So that's just 10 years ago?
8 years ago.
Oh, okay. So for Amy, you started to take it seriously to learn English when you decided to go abroad. And then for Haesong, you start speaking when you study abroad also? Exchange in Finland?
I think Amy may remember how bad my English was. I was really, really bad at speaking English. I didn't even know how to ask very simple things. I guess it took 1 or 2 months speaking in very simple sentences. I can read and write English sentences, but it was really hard to speak words out of my mouth at the beginning of the exchange semester.
Yeah. And Amy?
For me, I didn't remember that the Haesong English was that bad, to be honest. I just remember that later on we were able to communicate. We having dinner together with a group of friends, and we even went on a trip together, right? To Riga. Yeah. So for me, yes, this was the moment I decided I had to learn English because I don't think that I'm able to survive without speaking English in the Netherlands because I don't speak Dutch. So it's the only choice.
So for you two, what was the biggest challenge in learning to speak English?
I would say it was syntax and pronunciation and vocabulary. The syntax between Korean and English is completely different. The pronunciation was also very confusing. I thought they would be able to understand my English, but my roommate was Canadian and he did understand my English. I thought I was speaking in English, and his face was like, speak in English. I was like that.
Ah, okay. So it's the accent.
Yeah, accent, and you know, there was a story about garlic. We were cooking in the flat, and I was asking if he likes garlics, and I pronounced just garlic without like R. I thought he would understand, but he was like, what is that? I googled it and showed the picture of garlics, and he was like, oh, garlics. I thought you were like garlic or something. So a little difference of the pronunciation makes them very confused.
I think it depends, right? Because if we are like Asian and you speak English, so I think Asian understand Asian accent is a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like you guys, including Og and Japanese friend, they understood my English better than Jonah. Sometimes I didn't even finish the sentences, but Japanese friend already understood what I was trying to say. But Europeans, and especially my roommate Jonah, he did understand very well.
I think it's because he is not familiar with Asian. Yeah. It's not really your English. It's also he didn't expose himself more to variety of English. And for you and me, what was your challenge?
I think also like speaking, to be honest. So it doesn't seem like I'm a shy person, but I am. So to take the first step to actually like speak up and to make mistake is the most challenging part. Yeah.
And for the challenge, like, do you have any tips for helping you learn?
For speaking, actually I studied English from YouTube. During the exchange program, I really wanted to understand you guys talking. You guys were talking about jokes, but I didn't understand the jokes, but I pretended like I understood, and I laughed together. After I came back home, and I studied English, one expression a day from YouTube. And then next day, I go to school and I use that expression to my friends and classmates and teachers in the school, and I came back to the dormitory and used the very expression to my roommates. Now this accumulated day by day, and that's how I became where I am now.
What is the name of the YouTube channel?
It's a Korean YouTube. It's a live academy. He has a lot of subscribers, about 2 million subscribers in Korea.
Wow.
He teaches in Korean. He's almost a perfect bilingual with Korean and English.
Okay.
I also watched a lot of videos from YouTube, but he was the best teacher.
For Amy, how did you learn? Because you have to get a certain score, right, to get in the university in Netherlands.
Yeah, when I first came to the Netherlands, my English was not, let's say, sufficient enough to get in straight into the bachelor. So I took a pre-language course for 6 months. Since that you intensively learning English with the teacher and also with your classmates. Only English, speaking, reading, writing, and listening. So I think that's a moment that we got encouraged a lot by the teachers, because they're like, say it, you have an exam anyway, do it, make a mistake, and then we can correct it. But you never speak up, we can never able to help you. I mean, I was lucky to get the support from the teacher to overcome my fear. But later on, there's like during the first year of university, I also tried to make friends with a lot of Dutch people as well, because I force myself in a position that I don't really feel comfortable, but I know that I need to overcome it to able to speak English. So I was like, okay, let's just talk to them, even though sometimes I don't get the joke, but like along the way, day by day, it's gonna get better.
Yes.
That's how I overcome it.
And do you guys think English changed your life in a way, or like it influenced a certain aspect of your life?
I would say my position in my company was very competitive. These days it's really hard to get a job in South Korea. I guess it's worldwide. When you apply to the company, you have to submit official English score. You guys know OPIC? is an official English speaking test. I got an AL for that test, luckily. And then I submitted that English score, and the HR team was like, oh, he majored mechanical engineering, but he's still good at English. What is this guy? And then my boss also was interesting. I was good at English, and we also do a lot of cooperate with European R&D center. My company sells products to Hyundai Motor, and then they are Korean, but we also our products to Japanese companies and Turkish company and also French companies. So if you are good at English, it's very, very competitive in Korea and in this company.
Okay. And how many countries have you visited so far?
This year I actually went to Amsterdam for laying over only for 3 hours. 3 hours, yeah. And so including Netherlands, I would say about 28 countries.
Wow.
Including business trips and traveling, mostly traveling.
But did you get the chance to do business trip in Europe because you were able to speak English?
It's not only because of English. The function I am responsibility for are sold in Europe a lot. The function I am designing is not common in Korea. My function mostly embedded in European cars and Chinese cars. So our group mostly go to Europe.
Do you like it?
So far I am fine with that, but I sometimes think, am I able to travel like this when I become older someday?
Okay.
But it's okay so far. I'm still a bit young.
You are young. You're still young.
I hope I'm young, yeah. Okay, so what about Amy?
So I think this, because I know English, so I have the chance to meet you guys. So that's why we have this conversation over here. So I'm able to go abroad, study abroad, and meet new people, extending my network. Also, in terms of career development, I got into the international company, French international company, and also able to, let's say, do business trip like Hesong, had chance to go here and there to talk with a lot of people as well. So I think English bring a lot of advantages, not only for your personal life, but also like, let's say, professional life as well.
Yes. Now it's the last question. I want you guys to give some advice or some words for people who are trying to learn English or want to speak English.
As a Korean, I would say it's confidence. Korean people are so obsessed with being perfect. If you are speaking in other languages, like in English, and other people would think, oh, he's speaking in English, but his English is very bad. His grammar is not correct. But I think for learning English, you have to speak at least. Even if it's not perfect, you have to speak the words out of your mouth, just confidence. In my experience, I felt like some beers have to be speaking in English with my friends. I remember some of my friends said, "Oh, Haesung, your English is better when you are a bit drunk."
So did you drink a lot during exchange?
Yeah. For learning English.
Okay. Anything else?
I talked about YouTube before, and the YouTube is everywhere, I was able to watch the English teaching videos even in South Korea, but I have never studied English with YouTube in Korea. But I finally studied with that platform in Finland. I think it was because of the environment. I had to survive in Finland. I didn't want to miss the jokes. I really wanted to speak with my international friends, and that motivated me to study English. So the environment was also very important, I would say.
Okay. And Amy?
I think I can link to the story of Haesung because I think few of the Vietnamese also have a kind of a similar approach as well. That like you have to be perfect. They are afraid to make a mistake. But for me, first advice is that find something that you really interested in to start learning English, because that is the let's say the motivation that keeps you learning every day. Because if you find something boring, newspaper, something you are totally not think is fun, then it's really hard to learn. So find something that you like and then start searching for, let's say, English video, English article surrounded by the language and the topic. Then it's going to help you a lot. And then secondly would be, don't be afraid to make a mistake. I don't care about the people judging you. At least you are making the effort. Yeah, I think that's let's say 2 advice that I could give.
Okay. Thank you, you too. That's all for our call, and maybe I will invite you guys to do more videos later.
I can't wait.
Don't block my IG.
จบไปแล้วนะคะสำหรับ EP ที่ 2 ใครชอบคลิปแนวนี้หรือว่าใครมีคำแนะนำนะคะอยากจะให้ปรับปรุงส่วนไหนช่วยคอมเมนต์บอกใต้คลิปหน่อยนะคะไว้เจอกันใหม่ในคลิปหน้าค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ